Hello, students, and welcome to the Academy fifth period class. We're going to go through some tips to get started in your fifth period this year. You'll have access to this guide on paper. Feel free to refer back to this video for examples. Let's begin. The first thing you're going to want to do in class is choose a path. The first day of each quarter, you'll choose whether you want to study arts and humanities, language arts, social studies, science, or math. You can switch subjects each quarter or just stick with the one that you love, but you want to pick one that you definitely want to study. There's also going to be opportunities in class to practice for quick recall and academic team if you're interested in those areas. There's going to be opportunities to study writing for some writing competitions and STLP projects. If you're interested in technology, you'll have some opportunities to submit some of those as well. Just remember, day one, you're going to need to be able to tell me what subject you want to study for that quarter. The next thing we want to look at is kind of our daily planning. In this class, you get to choose what order you want to complete activities in the class. A lot of this class is self-paced. You go at it at your own speed. You're going to plan things kind of like some adults do for college classes. They're given a lot of their work up front, and they're going to complete it over the course of weeks to try to get it all done before that quarter or that semester is over with. For this class, our theming kind of lists everything in a way that's going to make it a little bit easier for you to keep up with as you get into the class. There are essentially 14 items that you have to do yourself. You're going to need to complete 8 training sessions, which are sort of like video notes activities you'll do in the class. 4 monster hunts, which are what we call mastery check mini quizzes. You're going to use the website Quizzes with 2 Z's at the end to do those. And 2 quests. These are projects tied in with whatever subject you're studying. So if you're studying arts and humanities, you might do some kind of art project. If you're studying social studies, you may do some kind of project tied in with social studies. These are to be done in class. Most of the days of the week, you'll have time where you can work on these. And you might need to work on them some at home if you don't get finished in class as we draw closer to the end of a quarter. You're also going to complete 6 of what we call sparring session tournaments, and these are competitive games that we do in class as a group. So kind of keep that in mind. You have a set list of activities you're going to get at the start of each quarter, and you're going to have whatever speed or whatever pace you want to complete those. But there's a few things, these competitive games, that we'll all do in class together, usually one day of the week. Another thing to keep in mind for the Academy is that all Academy students are just by default members of the SCMS academic team, and this makes you eligible to compete in our winter KAAC Governor's Cup competition if you're in 7th or 8th grade, and our 6th grade showcase event if you're in 6th grade. Now, not all students will participate in actual events. What we do with this class is we'll kind of monitor your progress. We're going to take some practice quizzes in class. We're going to see how you do on some of the activities, and we'll play various games and things to see how you would do in this competition. We'll ask some students, usually we can have 3 for each subject area, to compete in the event. We'll also have some students compete in quick recall. Mrs. Gross runs a competition called Math Counts for math students, and Mrs. Parnell helps run future problem solving events. We'll give a whole lot more info on academic team and stuff like that later, including our after school practices and things. But I just wanted you to keep in mind that competition is kind of a big part of this class. You don't necessarily have to compete or even participate in any of the academic team events, but we are going to highly encourage it, and we're going to give you a lot of opportunities to show you how well you could do if you competed in those competitions. The next thing that I want to mention is our class structure and leveling up. The Academy class is set up to progress sort of like a year-long game, kind of like a video game in some sense. You'll start at level 1, and as you complete activities, you'll earn experience points and level up your character. If you've played basically anything in the last little bit, you're probably familiar with structures kind of like this. If not, it's okay. Most of this is for flavor or fun, but it makes it a little easier to help you keep up with your grade in the class. This class is self-paced, so some students find it a little bit difficult at first trying to figure out where they're at. This structure makes it a little bit easier for you. You need to earn 100 experience points each quarter in this class. While there are occasionally other grades, you can generally look at your XP total to see your current grade for the class. You may see this little chart down here. It says the Academy and Progress Tracker on it. I'm actually going to bring up a bigger version of it right now. You'll always have access to our Academy website that has a Progress Tracker you can keep along with. And anytime you complete an activity, your teacher will check it off on the list if you did it the way you're supposed to. I've got a couple test names here, and you can kind of see some info over here. That doesn't really matter too much, but anytime a teacher checks off something, your point total here in the middle will go up. That's essentially your grade in the class. Think of it as you're sort of starting at 0, and anytime you complete something and you do a good job on it, it'll add this many points to your grade. Now, your goal, of course, is to make it so that you have an ending grade of 100 in the class. If you finish the quarter with only 85 points earned, you would receive an 85 that quarter as your grade. Students are kind of expected to earn 100 points each quarter in this class. This class is kind of asking you to go above and beyond the ordinary, and we have a lot of students that can't participate just because of the class size restrictions and things like that. So what we want the students in our class to be able to do is to have that 100 points as a goal and to meet that goal each quarter. Now, we'll show examples of that for you to follow along with, but that's just kind of some basic examples. You're going to be able to keep track of your grade very easily in this class. Parents or guardians will be able to see where you're at any time if you show them, and you'll be good to go. Now, let's talk a little bit about navigating this class, because like we've said, you're going to have access to most of the things that you'll be able to do during the quarter right from the beginning. You're going to start every day on your Google Classroom page. You can usually find up-to-date information and communications there, things that parents or guardians might need to know, etc. Google Classroom will kind of be our hub for it. On Google Classroom, you'll find 2 links, which you can kind of see down here. Both of them say the Academy on it, although that might change a little bit as things progress. But both links, one will take you to our Google site, one will take you to what we call the world map.